Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. I'm ready.
University of Saskatchewan, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Station for a voice check.
This is Dave Williams at the University of Saskatchewan. How do you copy?
Hey, Dave, loud and clear. How me?
Hey, Dave, loud. I copy you loud and clear as well. It's great to see you in space. You're looking fantastic. I was watching the launch, absolutely spectacular launch, and I love the grin that you had when you opened the hatch and you came across.
It was quite a ride. I mean, you've been through a few of these yourself, but after all these years of training, it felt strangely familiar because of all the training, but of course, the acceleration and then the release of tension when you reach orbit and that first view out of the window is a moment I will never forget.
Well, it's absolutely fantastic. We, of course, we're very proud of you. We're proud of the great work that you're doing on board the space station. And we have a whole group of really excited students who've got great questions that they want to ask you this morning.
I will be very happy to answer their questions.
So maybe we'll start off and we'll have the first student ask your question.
Hi, my name is Sophie, and my question for you is, what is it like to blast off into space?
Hi, Sophie. That's the first question to ask, of course. A rocket ride is an unbelievable moment. After all this training, you walk to the launch pad, and I remember a comment that actually Dave Williams made when I was in training. He said, you know, you will realize when you walk towards the rocket, everybody else is walking away because it's like a giant potential bomb. But you are walking to the rocket, up the rocket, you get into your little seat, you're all strapped in, all focused on the displays in front of you, and then when this thing starts to, when they ignite the engines and this thing comes alive, and it's as if two giant hands were carrying you all the way up to space. And after about 10 minutes of this vibration and engines cutting on and new engines starting off, you get thrown forward in your seat at every transition. Eventually, cut the engines, and there you are floating in the vacuum of space. Look out the window, and here's the curvature of the Earth. My first view was of a sunrise on Earth. It was unbelievable.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bennett, and my question is, who do you work with on the ISS and where are they from?
Hi, Bennett. So currently we're a crew of 3. It's rare that we're so few, but so our commander is a Russian, Oleg Kononenko. He's a very experienced cosmonaut. This is his 4th time in space. He was also the commander of our Soyuz spacecraft. My colleague here from the US is Anne McLean. She's a seasoned military helicopter pilot and also a professional rugby player. She is an amazing person to work with. And the 3 of us, we keep the station running. And it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. And it's a great human experience of friendship and teamwork.
Thank you. My name is Jacob, and my question for you is, what different roles do astronauts have to fill?
Yes, it is a very, very varied job, and that's one of the things that I like about it. So, of course, you have to be basically a pilot because you got to fly the rocket that brings you here. Then once you're here, you may have to do a spacewalk. I spend a lot of time preparing experiments, so being like a scientist or a technician for scientists on Earth. I can be a plumber one day, a hairdresser the other day. I can be repairing electronics. We've got to maintain the station that is keeping us alive. And sometimes, if we're lucky, we get to do a spacewalk, go out the door. Dave Williams knows a lot about that. Or use Canadarm, the fantastic Canadian robot that was used to build the space station, and that we still use very regularly as to kind of catch cargo vehicles as they come to the station. So it's very, very varied. And another important role, of course, is to do what I'm doing today, which is to tell the story of space exploration and to answer your questions. So it is a very, very varied job, and that's what I love about it.
Thank you.
My name is Shreya. My question is it warmer in space than it is on Earth?
Hey, Shreya. So right now I'm inside the space station. The temperature is very comfortable. As you can see, I'm wearing a short sleeve polo. So inside space station, it's very, very normal. Outside in space, well, it's a difficult question to answer. It depends if you're in the sun or in the shade. If you're in the sun, it can get terribly hot. For example, if you take the moon that doesn't have an atmosphere, the side of the moon that is in the sunlight is several hundred degrees hot. But the part that's in the shadow is several hundred degrees below zero. So as you can tell, it really varies on the amount of light that things receive. And that's also true for the spacecraft. The side of the spacecraft that's in the shadow is very, very cold, but the other side that's in the sun is very, very hot. And that's a big puzzle for engineers, how to keep these machines working correctly, even though one side is cold and one side is hot.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Bree, and my question is, what do you have to eat in space?
Hi, Shreya. Well, it's actually a bit like camping food. I brought a few to show you. So by camping food, I mean it can be dehydrated. For example, this is dehydrated food. We just add water, and it becomes, in this case, chili. And in this case, this is very special food to me because that's food that recipe that my wife prepared for me. We can eat food that comes in cans, like we have on Earth. We have a can warmer and eat out of the can. This is a soup that's kind of in a bag like this, aluminum bag. You just need to open it, warm it up, open it, and you can have your soup. The rare food we have is fresh food. Every few months when the cargo vehicle comes, people stuff apples, oranges in it. These, of course, are the most enjoyable piece of food that we have on board. This is one of the few apples left, so we're cherishing it. So food is very good, very varied here. We can share it among different countries. Sometimes we have a Russian meal, American meal. I brought a lot of salmon and maple products from Canada. So it's very, very varied.
Is there any food that you can't have on the space station?
So what we cannot have really is a lot of fresh food. That's very, very rare. Only comes when there is a delivery of cargo. So that's the rare thing that we miss, especially fresh vegetables. I find I miss most.
Hello, my name is Braxton, and my question is, if you played a game in space, what would it be?
A game we really like to play is to go to the window, the cupola we call it, at a random moment with our friend and try to guess where we are. It's like a test of geography. Can you recognize countries from their shapes? Can you recognize at night cities from their outline? Can you recognize mountains, oceans? So this is the best game, I think, to play from out here is to look out the window and guess where you are.
Thank you. My name is Katie, and I'm wondering how much air is on the space station, and is it hard to breathe?
Hey, Petey. Actually, the air here on Space Station is very, very similar to the air on Earth. Same temperature, as much oxygen, as much nitrogen. It's got a little bit more carbon dioxide, which is the product of our breathing, because on Earth, when you breathe carbon dioxide out, you breathe oxygen in and carbon dioxide out. That carbon dioxide that you breathe out is food for the plants, and you have a lot of plants, a lot of trees on Earth. Here we don't have much, so the carbon dioxide is a bit higher. That's the only difference. It's not hard to breathe at all. It's very easy and very comfortable, the air.
My name is Callum, and my question is, what is your source of energy?
So, hi, Callum. The station is an electric space station. We have giant solar panels, and that is our main source of energy, is the sun, with those giant solar panels. We have batteries, so that way we can charge the batteries, and when we are in the shade of the Earth, we use the batteries, but it's always running on electricity.
Hi, my name is Sophia. Hi, my name is Sophia. My question is, how do you sleep without floating?
So we each have a little bedroom. It's about the size of a telephone booth. And in there we have a sleeping bag, a very normal sleeping bag. I brought mine. This is my sleeping bag. So I can attach it to the ceiling or to the wall and just go inside my bag. But the important is to attach it to the wall. You have to attach the bag to the wall before you go in it. Otherwise, you'll wake up in the morning and maybe you'll be outside of your bedroom somewhere.
My name is Emily, and my question is, how does it feel to know that you are floating in a piece of metal in an endless void?
That's a very scary question, isn't it? So while we're here inside the station, you don't really realize that because you don't see outside, and it feels very normal, other than the fact that you're floating, of course. That's not very normal. That's your only reminder that you are on orbit in space. But as soon as I go to the window and I look outside, then I'm reminded of where I am. And I basically feel very lucky, very fortunate to be here. Very few people have this privilege. That's why it's important for me to share it with you, share this experience.
Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Saint-Jacques. My name is Dano. I'm the president of our space team here on campus. And I'm curious how seeing the Earth from the perspective of the space station has changed your perspective of Earth and its inhabitants.
Yeah, this view is really unique. And, you know, we all sort of know this view. We've all seen these photos of the Earth seen from the space, right? We know it's a blue, beautiful blue sphere floating in the darkness of space. But to see it with your own eyes really has a strong effect on me. And it has, basically, it has made me want to make the Earth better, contribute to helping others and helping nations work together. I think this is a beautiful aspect of the space program, is that there's all these nations represented behind me have worked together to build the station. And if you know a bit about the history, some of these countries a few decades ago used to be at war with each other, but they worked together in space. So for me, that's the main effect of seeing the Earth from above, is to see it as one and realize that the borders are our inventions, and the fact that here we can work together as people from different countries, I think is a good example for our future. To me, it's very reassuring. It proves to me that humans can work together, and together we will solve all our problems.
Thank you very much.
Hello. My name is Albert. My question is, if you had a compass in space, what direction would it point?
It's a good physics question. So as you know, the compasses, they orient themselves along the magnetic field lines of the Earth. So the higher you go away from Earth, the weaker that field gets. Here on space station, we're still inside the magnetic field effect. So a compass would roughly work still, but it'll be just a bit weaker, the strength of the magnetic field. If you go far enough, for example, if you're on the moon, then it doesn't work at all anymore because the effect of the magnetic field of the Earth is too weak there. So it depends how far you are from the Earth, but otherwise it's the same as on Earth.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Daniel. Where do you get all your water supplies in space?
So the first bunch of water that we had, it was brought here, right? It came as supplies. A lot of it came on the space shuttles. But now we try to recycle our water. So we're able to recycle about 80% of all the water that we drink. What does that mean? That means that when I go to the toilet and pee, we don't throw away that pee. That pee we put in a big recycling machine and it turns it into drinking water. Same with the air conditioning unit. All the moisture that's in the air gets back into this recycling machine and that's the water that we drink. And maybe you think that's a little bit gross, but I'll tell you what, imagine on Earth, the water that you drink on Earth, every time you have a glass of water, where does it come from? It comes from rain. And rain is the evaporation of oceans. And what fills the ocean? Everything, including the sewage. But Mother Earth is this incredible recycling machine. And it constantly recycles the water and the air in a perfect recycling loop. There is no new air, no new water on Earth. That doesn't exist. It's all old air and old water that the Earth has recycled for us. So here in space, we do the same, except we're not as smart as Earth. We have to use a machine to recycle our water.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sam, and my question for you is, if you got to visit any planet in the universe, what would it be and why?
Well, if I didn't come from Earth, I would want to visit Earth, I think. It is by far the most beautiful place in the universe. But if we have to travel somewhere else, I think it would be very exciting to go to Mars because it's not too far from the Earth. It should be very interesting to see. It has similar history, and we'll learn a lot about the history of our solar system. So Mars would be my destination if I could.
Hi, my name is Penelope, and to become an astronaut, you have to go through a lot of difficult training. My question is, what was the hardest training for you to do, and why?
So basically, I thought it was all hard because they really push you to your limit, and you have to learn a very broad range of skills. You have to become a pilot, you have to use the spacesuit, learn how to use Canadarm, you have to learn to speak Russian language, you have to learn a lot about space science, about geography, geology, biology, you have to learn how to fly rockets. So there's many, many things you have to learn. So I think the most difficult is to juggle your energy, decide where to put your energy so that you can reach the end. And the way we do this is with teamwork. Astronauts really are good at helping each other so that together, as a group, we can reach all these incredible goals. So the most difficult I find was managing my energy because you're a lot on the road, far from your family. That's also very difficult to be away from your family, your children so much. You have to put a lot of effort into keeping the link alive, keeping your family in a good position. So finding the balance, I would say, between your work, your private life, all the aspects of your work, finding that balance is the most difficult challenge. And that's true of any job.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton, and my question for you is, when you lose all your supplies, what do you do?
If you lose something on space station, you just wait a little bit. And eventually you will find it in one of the filters. There's a big recycling machine for the air, and all the air ends up through a filter going back in the machine. So at the grid on the filter, that's where you find the things that you lose. Sometimes it takes 1 or 2 days.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is JC. My question is, how do you wash your clothes in space?
Hey, Stacy. So, JC, well, unfortunately, we don't. We cannot wash our clothes. So we wear them until they're too smelly, and then we throw them away. But you know, you don't sweat so much here. So I'm surprised that you can wear clothes for a very, very long time, and it's still very okay.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nolan, and my question is, how do you go to the bathroom in space?
Very, very important question. So here on Earth, how do you go to the bathroom? How do you get rid of your pee on Earth? You pee into water, right? And the water catches it, basically. And then you flush the water. We can't do that here on station. We cannot afford to waste water like that. And we don't have gravity to take the pee down. So what we do is, imagine, it's like peeing inside the tube of a vacuum cleaner. You switch it on, and the flow of the air is what catches your pee. So that's how we go to the bathroom, is with a air suction system.
Thank you.
My name is Riley, and my question is, do you ever leave the spaceship?
We can go outside. Of course, we have to wear a spacesuit to do that. It's a very rare, very special moment, very special event. I have been trained for that, but I did not have the chance to do that yet. It's called a spacewalk. Dr. Williams, who's with you, has done this several times, so he can tell you more about it. I hope I will get the chance to do a spacewalk, but it's a very, very rare and special event for an astronaut.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ethan. I'm the Public Relations Executive for Spectrum 2019. And my question is, what do you think is the next great step for humans in space?
I think definitely the big thing we're all looking forward to is a trip to Mars. That's the next big dream. And that dream will lead us forward as a species. And to achieve that dream, we need to fix several problems in science, life support, and all these steps we will make in reaching Mars, they will help us here on Earth. For example, we need to get better at recycling our resources so we can make it to Mars. We need to be better at producing energy so we can make it to Mars. We need to be better at fighting cancer because of the risk of radiation on the way to Mars. And we need to get better at international relations so that all the countries can participate to the trip to Mars. I think these four big problems are big problems that will help everybody on Earth. But I think it's going to take several decades before this is possible. That means for you that the astronauts who will go to Mars, the engineers that will build the rockets, all these people, I think they're alive already, but they're still kids. They're about your age. It could be you. It's a dream you can have.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Caitlin, and I'm the Administration Executive for Spectrum 2019. My question is, in your opinion, what was the most important or revolutionary invention for space exploration?
Well, I think the most important, one of the most important missions and events that I can think of is the incredible mission of Apollo 8, sorry, where the first mission to actually leave low Earth orbit. The first time that humans left the vicinity of Earth, and they went on their spacecraft towards the moon, and they looped around the moon on the far side of the moon, and they came back to Earth. They didn't land on the moon, but so they're not so famous as Apollo 11 for that reason. But I think what they did was the most important, biggest step in space exploration, was to leave the vicinity of Earth and actually go into the depth of deep space. Apollo 8.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Whitney. I am the Personnel Executive for Spectrum 2019. My question for you is, what can you do to become an astronaut after finishing an engineering degree?
Well, there is no recipe, Whitney. I think the only thing you must do, I can totally understand why this is a dream. This is a dream that I had too. The most important thing is to look into your heart and find something that you really, really love, something you really, really want to do, because that's the only way to have the energy to be excellent at it. And that's the only thing that all astronauts had in common, is that they were all excellent at what they were doing, and they loved it, and they were very happy. So let that be your ambition, to be happy and excellent at what you're doing. And the only way to do that is to find something that you love enough that you can devote all that energy to it.
David, it's Dave. That was the last question, and I think it was a fantastic answer, because we have a whole group of very fantastic students here today who are interested in becoming astronauts, and who knows, one day they might get a chance to be able to fly in space. It was 10 years from the time we first met to you being in space now. What's the best part of being in space?
I think the best part is the view. That incredible view of our planet, that thin blue line of the atmosphere that protects us from the vacuum of space, to see that glow, to imagine everybody that I know, everybody I love, everything that's ever been done by humans is all on that beautiful planet. And it looks alive. The rest of space looks a little bit dead. You know, the moon looks like a piece of rock. The stars, they look just like little lights. The space itself is black and empty. But Earth, you can tell that Earth is gracefully moving, breathing, alive. There's clouds, currents, weather, storms. It's an amazing sight. It's very humbling to see how powerful, stable, strong, and beautiful she is down there. And it gives you a lot of respect for Earth. And it makes you want to keep her beautiful, keep Earth alive, and come back to Earth and contribute to making Earth a better place.
Thanks very much. Well, huge congratulations to you and the rest of the crew. Canada is following you. You're making us so proud, doing the incredible research that you're doing on board the International Space Station, doing the Canadian science. It's really, really exciting to be able to see you in space doing these amazing things. Keep up the fantastic work. Looking forward to maybe chatting with you again during the mission. And again, we're all very, very proud of the great work that you and the crew are doing. Thanks to the team in Mission Control as well for setting up today's event.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for being an inspiration to me when I was a young man and a student, and I had this dream. And I was reading about you, and I thought, well, maybe one day I can do what this man is doing. And here we are talking to you from space. It's a very, very nice way to close the loop.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you, Canadian Space Agency and participants. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.